Right, finally the sun's out. We've got some grass we're cutting now. It's organic and I've never seen a cut like it. All the muck went on in February, see, and it all went in and done a good job. So this is no fertiliser. To be fair, this is the best cut I've ever seen here. So some years it can be pretty drab. Quite soft though, it's a good job of getting it off. Now let it dry out all day tomorrow. Toby with a new coon mower we just picked up. That's Toby on that, that's our new tractor and new mower. The mower we picked up this morning, so he's tracking on alright. Gone back to coon, we had coon before, then we went to Fent. And there's the Fent mower coming along now. This is Josh, he's on the blue 175 Fent mower. We've had about 3 of these Fent mowers, so we thought we'd give coon a go again. This is a GS4 mix. What's like got 3 or 4 herbs in it or whatever, but didn't really grow. It's just ryegrass now. So it's 2-year rye lay grass in there. There he goes. So we were going to whack this in a clamp, but we're going to round bale it now. Forager's a bit busy. We need a lot of round bales anyway. This is going to come in a fair few round bales, so we'll have to get them in quite quick because I can imagine it being quite juicy. This is some of the dry screen we've got. It's still a little bit soft, so everywhere else is going to be a no-go. I think Tom's doing a bit on the autumn unit out on the ground we took on out Shep the Mallet, because that's nice dry soil right there. Now we get the sun in between these lines, so we're not going to flick it out at all. Get this drying out. This ain't too bad. Yeah, there's plenty of dough there, but we're going to be alright. It's not going to contaminate the grass, I don't think. So 2 mowers there going side by side. The 15th of May we started serving the cows this year. Now the 15th was 3 days ago. It's now the 17th. The AI chap has just gone on. I don't do no serving myself, but the AI chap comes in and he walks and talks with all the cows in the herd. So they're all banged in nice and tight, so he literally just walks in like this, and the AI's one. So here's one what was done today. He is now served up. When she goes in the parlour, she will get an orange tail tape, and anything in May gets an orange tail tape, and then say this one gets served in June, she'll get a white one. So really simple, because we ain't got many animals for freeze brands. Whenever we go to farm sales, we seem to buy animals without freeze brands for some reason. So this cow here, she will like most of the cows are going to get served in May. I think the first week we serve about 140, and then the second week we'll do about 70, and then the third week about 40, and then it goes like that, and then we go down to like 5 or 6 a day throughout the rest of the 6 weeks, and we burn about 350 straws. 150 of them will be sexed, and the rest will be conventional. It is all black and white Irish Friesian. There's no Jersey for the last 2 years we have served, because we want to try to thin the ones like this out of it a little bit. We want to get bigger, stronger black and white cows. We want to push the milk a little bit more going into the autumn. We don't want autumn calving, but we want to push going into June, July, August, September, that sort of time. We still want to, like, we're going to calve. So the latest we've ever served was about 2 years ago. We served the 10th of May, and then that was the end of February as shit started to kick off. 1st of May we usually serve, and that is about the 10th of February kick off. So the 15th of May serving will be about the end, yeah, the end of February. In March, round about 1st of March will be a big one. Will benefit this farm too, because this farm is a cold farm. So we do get good grazing in February, but usually we eat all the bloody grass off, and then come March we ain't got a great deal. So we're going to do it like that. Now all's gone well on that front, but we hit a bloody water leak. We got a water leak right in the middle of our collecting yard in what's all right, but we laid 6 inches of concrete last year and it's coming up underneath that, so I'm gonna have to hack that up fix this bloody water leak. Now, I know exactly what's happened. I think it was me. I put a joiner with Plaston fit in, and I don't think I tightened out a pair of steel sins, and I reckon that's come undone. So I reckon I'm gonna have a little bit of a job on fixing that, but I'm gonna start working on that this week and sort it out. Touch wood, it's only a little one at the moment. What I forgot to say with serving is we paint everything up first with blue, so they all get painted blue, and we keep topping that up. Usually when it gets served once, they get a red paint afterwards, so we know we've been served, but we're tail taping instead this year, and we'll probably just run on blue paint. So we might do red ink, don't really need it though. It's not nothing major. Been going to market and buying the odd out and block cow. A lot of spring calvers now don't want nothing calving in May, so they're selling them, and that's what these three are. We've bought these three. God knows why they're tail painted, because they're all like, these two are dry, this one's just calved. So I like we want a good 30 or 40 May calvers this year. I like to see the milk go through a bit further. I push it on so that'd be spot on. So that's one calved in, and I think we've got another one in this shed over here. So also two there. So for May, because we don't usually calve in May, but well away. Here's a fresh calver here. What's calved? This is the sort of cow we want. See, like that. That's a smart cow, that is. Let me get a bit of a better picture of that. That's my ideal cow, that is. That is a nice cow. It's going to give some milk. A cow like that, see, is still going to milk from grass because they're not ever so big, say about 550 kilos. Milk from grass still, chucks out a good cattle, and then holds her body weight, and it's going to make a good barrener. And she's got the longevity about her too. She's got nice strong feet. We'll have to lift the feet a little bit more on animals like that, because Jersey feet are pretty solid, but it's probably the best thing about them, because they don't give a great deal. Got all my water fittings full of water leak, so I use these water fittings. What are these Plaston or Filmac? I forget what. These are plastic. These are better. So I've got a Filmac one in the ground, and I reckon I didn't tighten out a pair of steel sins. I don't mind whatever actually. These are alright, the other ones are alright. They're all okay. But I've got a few spare fittings. It's a 20mm tap, 25mm tap. I've also got a 32mm T-junction I need. We got all the water troughs on this farm are 32mm. We got a ring of 50 goes in the ground, and then 32mm coming off the water troughs, so we get plenty of water into the cows. Because even when we ran out of grass last summer, the water troughs stayed full up in that dry weather, and the cows did not drop on yield, and I put it down the water. So we got that, and we got high pressure ball valves too, what we use. So I got, this is a 25mm, and he's drummed up to a so he got on a 30mm corner thing. I've got this jackhammer here too. I just got at Reed's Agri. I'm going to hack the concrete up with, mainly cementy concrete, so it's not real tough stuff, but I'm going to do that. And then this roller here, what Emma's bought today, is what I'm going to do the tail painting with. Now I want a little bit better in this, but what I literally do is put a pot of this tail paint, squirt it in there, and I just slide this along the floor of the parlour and then roll it on the tails. Does work really well actually like that. Otherwise I've got to climb up there, and then I've got to pot it on like every individual one. Well, also these freshly calved cows what gone in a herd. Now we've got the milk in the tank. It's all pretty good to put the milk in after like you've had your clothing out for the calves and whatever. But I am still CMTing all of them to make sure like we're all good, because like this year has been a funny year, even though we've had more mastitis in that wet weather, but also the cell count has been jumping up and down a little bit. It's been like AWOL, and it's all to do with subclinical mastitis rubbish. But now the good weather's improved and whatnot, and the mastitis has dropped right off, and the cows are being served and getting back in the calf. That cell count should really not, sub 100 really. When I check cattle now, I need to drive across a lot of fields. What's okay, but now I've got a new truck this year, I'm a bit worried it's going to get thrashed like the old truck. The old truck we still got, it's gone downhill considerably, and it's got a few more dents than usual in. But I'm trying not to do it to this truck, but it's going to be hard because all the fields we put all our calves, all in up and down fields. And here I am, just going to check all the calves. So what I'm doing, it's the end of the day at the moment. I just driving home because this farm is in between the Water Rank calving unit and a spring unit, and I've got to drive past it. So this is a separate block of 375 acres, all organic, real organic stuff. It don't get reseeded or anything. We're not allowed to reseed it or anything. I just had to turn the camera off. I have been bombarded with phone calls and all sorts. It's been an absolute manic day. Every day is mental, but this week has been pretty surreal. And the stress levels are unreal. Like you would all know, any of you what are farming, like dairy farming, it is just full on, just every day, all day, just non-stop. Yeah. So I'm driving across the fields to check the calves. Now these calves I've got out here somewhere. I've been a bit scared because I ain't found them yet. Are the spring calving heifers what are now weaned off. Now the only difference between this year and last year in any other year is usually they go out in the field when they're still on milk, but because it's been horrendously cold and wet, we've kept them on milk in the shed and we weaned them off and kept them in, and we've only just let them out now, and there they are. Yeah, I just found them. And we've got like 90 odd out here. I think it's more than 90, but I think it's around about 90 something. I've got to have a count up. Tim told me it's 92, but I think it's 94. It seems to be tracking on alright. Some years don't feed them cake, but this year we are. I think we're all on the back foot on the grass, and I don't know if it's me or not, but the grass everywhere is still looking quite yellow. All this first cut we're making is going to come in low energy for sure, and not just low energy, it's going to be hard for the cows to eat too. I think it's still got this winter layer on. Now this is not like the perfect example, but this grass here what I'm picking, this is quite old meadowy stuff, but it's the same with all the grass. It's got this skin on it, still got the winter skin where it's been cold. Now we've had a few warm days, but it's not enough. We've got to have another hot sunny week before we can get the majority of our grass cut to make it palatable going in the winter, because most of our diet in the winter is grass silage. A lot of people feed 50% maize, 50% silage in whole crop and whatnot. Ours is 2/3 silage, 1/3 maize, or 1/3 whole crop. It depends what farm we're on. So we've got to make sure we get this grass right. So we're make best of a mess, to be honest. I said all heifers, just one bull calf there must have slipped through the net. He must have been too ill to go on or something like that. We have got the odd bull, we're not too worried we're going to send they on there at a time. But it would literally be one or two. That's probably the only one. There's a calf here, they're drinking out of the river at the moment. All looking pretty good. I've got to keep a close eye on them because last year they went out in the field and they were on milk and then they got weaned off, and I did have a few go back and I had to like take back at the farm and keep a close eye on. But I'll make sure they don't get shitty asses and whatnot. Some hanging about on their own. This is real rough grain, this, as you can see. We've got these sedges here and whatnot. Looking all alright there. It is still cold at nights even now, so we're not completely out of the woods. They need it warm. You know, it's alright now. You know you've got too much grass. So I'll show you the cake in a minute. But they're getting like grower rolls to keep them a little bit of energy. That's what I look out for. See, one like that, a little bit thin. He's alright though. But you know, anything falling behind, hanging about on its own, not following the rest of the group, to make sure they're all alright. Usually drive over stuff like this with my old truck. No way I'm driving over a new one, I take a bumper off. There they are. All around my truck there. This is the bowls I made up. So I'm dragging them around. Keep shifting. Well, it's going to be one of those years. Last year I chucked it on the grass. This year the ground's still wet. So I put it all in here. Move them on every day. Fill them up with cake. This is what we don't want. They stayed in the same place, they made this bloody mess here. So we want this to, you know, keep shifting the bowls around. So everybody keeps shifting the bowls around all the time. Keep it nice and tidy. Keep it on fresh ground. No mess. Here we go. They're coming over now for the feed. This is the highest point of the farm here, of that organic grain I was on about. I've just checked the animals staying there. And as you can see over there, that's the village. That's where the autumn unit is over there. Just about see the cows out in the field there. There's a few fields cut. Right over the far side where it's bruting. Got a lot of grain cut there. And that's going to be hauled back to the autumn unit tomorrow. So at the start of the video, that grass, what we were cutting, that was organic. In that, we baled that up. That was about 4 days ago. That's 254 bells on 30 acres. Real good stuff. The hell of a cut it was. And I think, you know, some years you get a lot and some years you don't. We never had as much as that. But that, I think we put the muck on in February, and we had that dry February, and that muck really went down in. And the muck, it was rotted down and it was on so thick. We, you know, I was on about chaining out in, and then all that rain come and washed it in, and that grass just grew like mad. It was unreal. And we've just tanked and dribble barred it now, so hopefully we'll get another decent cut off it. Gosh, that was a bluebird day. Joshy boy's happy.
Yeah, always.
Someone's going topping.
Yeah.
Silage in day to day. Oh, this one here gotta be round belled. Taylor's gonna beld out that later. And then we've got the clamp silage coming in tonight. It's May and we still got a bit of straw coming in. This is last year's straw. It's golden stuff, so that's why we thought we'd put a bit more in the barn. You never know what the next harvest is going to be like. I know Sarah thought they'd taken, so we thought we'd have a bit. This weather's a different story. There's the cows all painted up. They're going on out. They've all got blue on their tails, so I painted every single cow blue. And as they get served up, they get a pink, like that one there. And then Tommy's serving them all up for us. Farm Services Southwest, he writes a date on them too. We don't ask him to do that because we do write down the ones every day anyway, but it does come in handy, like that one there, see. And we put an orange tail tape on every single one what's served, so we know it's just easier down the pod pit without freeze brands and whatnot. When it comes to PDing in 2 months time, anything with an orange tail tape will get PD'd, and then we'll know if that one's going to calve in end of February or not. And then when we get to June, we start serving, we'll put a different tail tape on them. So so it doesn't matter really what colour tail. Like usually what we do is we paint them all blue, and then as they get served they get painted red on the tail. But this year it doesn't matter if they've got the same paint on their tail again, if we do them blue again, because we've got a tail tape on them, so we never even serve once. All's gone well, but they're bulling well, but they usually do. But when they were when they calved in 2 months ago and their eggs were being made in them, then the weather was really rough. So we'll see what the conception rate's like this year. Usually we're usually in the 70% in calf rate in the 6 weeks. Was pretty good. I think we had 1 year 67, but our highest has been about 74, I think. What's not too bad because we don't do no pre-mate in mine, and we don't do no estromate or anything like that. It's all organic, so we can't manipulate the breeding. So that is quite good, but they are lower yielding cows, and as we get the yield up a bit, so we've gone from 5 to 6,000 litres, that will affect the conception rate a little bit. There we go, they're all gone out. Completely different weather now. So what we're going to do this year is we're self-feed silage in the winter, but we use it what works really well, really efficient, but you don't get the milk in that. And we milked through the winter last winter, and it works really well considering it's quite I say it's average winter. It's quite tough going. It was drier than usual, but we did get a little bit of mastitis now. but if you're going to milk reasonably dry cows through the winter, you are going to get a few troubles. So what we're going to do here, this is a pad of stone what we got, that's our calf pens what we made out of straw what are now dormant, and we're going to pick out the good bells and stack them away and throw away any crap bells. We're going to put 2 concrete feed barriers here so the wagon can come in this winter and feed up through the barrier. So Tim and whoever's with him, if it's me or someone else milking in the winter, won't have to do no feeding. All we have to do is do the bend down, scraping up. So because we've got 2 other farms on the wagon will be able to be incorporated and it'll be very efficient going. So only would that work with us with a few, like with 2 other dairies with a wagon running in between. If it was just this farm and no other farm, then no way would I go out and buy a wagon to do that. But because we've got the other farms, it'll work quite well. I got a friend when I drive back from the spring unit, and I see him now and again, but not every day. There he is. Look at that. He's been here for about 10 years. I've seen him on and off, not very often in the winter, but in the summer he comes out. He sits in a tree above the road, or he perches on the gate. He used to be really wild when we TB tested. He used to try pecking us and God knows what, but now he's calmed right down. One day I won't see him, it'd be a shame. Such a pretty animal. Finally, on the wettest fields on the farm, we've managed to cut them. Still very soft though. This is like by far the wettest blue clay fields you can get. Cold, but the grass grew really well. This is a fair cut out here. Very, very soft. There's so much moisture in the ground. So we've cut this now. It's Saturday and it's cut. We're not going to touch it till Monday. So we're going to have to let it dry out. It's deceiving really. The mowers can float over it pretty well without really making it look too bad. But the tyres are sank in. There's plenty of tread about. So we're going to have to let it pitch off. Even in this weather. All next week's looking good. We're going to have all the silaging pretty much done by the end of next week. Everywhere first cut, and we're going to have the odd few round bells and whatnot here and there. But this is stuff here, we can't really tell it out. There's plenty of juice in it. We want to let these lines dry right out before we get big machines on, because we've had it so many times where you jump the gun and you come out and you make a bloody good mess even when it looks like you won't. This playground can catch you out really easy, can it, boy? What do you think? He likes it. Where's the other one too? My other dog is moling. He absolutely loves moles. Come on, boy, where's the moles? Where's the two? Where's the two? Where's the two, boy? Max. Come here, Max. Max, where's the moles to? Where's the rabbies? Hey, Bilbo, where's the rabbies?